Uh-oh, Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane jump.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Oh, okay.
But you gonna drag me? You gonna drag me too? Do you want me to? Okay, you want me to drag me? Do you want me to? You want me to?
Who's paying you? No. Nobody's paying your cat thing. Get off me. Whoa. 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 Whoa.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest channel and podcast. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I wanted to just talk about the correlation with situations that can seem negative and how people tend to really side with the person who they care for in a situation more than the other. Because I don't want to have too many more conversations about the Will Smith, Chris Rock saga, slap, situation, melee, drama, whatever. It's gonna, there are gonna be more conversations about it. And they're two people of privilege. So to be honest with you, yeah, there's a whole lot more important things that are going on in the world. And in the grand scheme of things, they're going to be fine, all of them. And Chris Rock is laughing all the way to the bank because the last I heard, his show, I believe it was somewhere in Canada, has completely sold out. And yeah, he's going to be fine. But what I wanted to talk about, it was something that was crossing my mind when I watched the playback of the slap that happened. And I thought about two previous situations that I had my thoughts on and a lot of people had opinions about. And I'll go as far back as the fight that happened on The Real Housewives of Potomac between Monique Samuels and Candace Dillard Bassett. And most recently, which happened about a month or so ago, was between Tommy Sotomayor and a young lady who goes by the name of 304 Shay or Che. I'm not sure exactly how she pronounces it, but they were all on the Fresh and Fit podcast. And it made the rounds on YouTube and some areas of the internet about how this young lady, she was on the podcast and she was asking Tommy Sotomayor some questions. And yeah, he was extremely disrespectful. He does what he does. He speaks how he speaks. His platform is what it is. And a lot of people that follow him, they know that about him. So a lot of people felt like Tommy Sotomayor deserved to get slapped or hit or punched and whatever by that young lady because he was being extremely disrespectful. Now, she's done a few different interviews and she said that she swung because she felt threatened because he pushed someone onto her. That very well may be the case. I don't really know. But what I will say is that more people were on the side of he deserved to get hit And the reason being is because they don't like Tommy Sotomayor, they don't like what he stands for or doesn't stand for, and they feel that he's extremely disrespectful to black women. All of those things can be true, and they are at the same time, but it doesn't mean that what the young lady did, it doesn't make what she did right. And I'm not even sitting here saying that what she did was wrong, because again, in that situation, I wasn't in the room. I don't know, and I'm not going to try to do some zoom in video to see, was it true what she said? Did he actually hit her or push someone into her and she was defending herself? Because yeah, if someone hits you or someone hits you, and if it isn't a direct hit or whatever it is, and you feel threatened because of some physical harm, then you do have the right to protect yourself. So I'm not sitting here to say that she was wrong in that situation, because based on what she is claiming, it's possible, but I don't know. I wasn't there. But what I am saying about that is this: more people were on the side of the young lady just because they don't like Tommy Sotomayor. So they felt that him getting hit by the young lady was deserved. So I wanted to say that about that, and then going even further back to the Real Housewives of Potomac. Monique Samuels, she was deemed as a favorite by a lot of people who watched the show. Monique Samuels, she's married to Chris Samuels, former NFL football player, big guy. She is, living an extremely well, laid out life because of her husband, and she wants to showcase that life on reality TV, and the Real Housewives of Potomac was the place that she was doing it, or attempting to do it, and she did it for a little bit. But then some rumors came out about, was she having an affair? Was she not having an affair? Were there lies being spread about her because the girls on the show didn't like her, and all of these different things? But the fight that happened, it wasn't even so much a fight between her and Candace Dillard-Bassett, and I've talked about this before. I've talked about this before on my platform, and I said, because I really liked Monique too. I don't dislike her. I just don't like the fact that after all was said and done, and even on the show, while episodes were being filmed and these things that were aired that were filmed, she had her pastor or minister come over to the church, and then the minister told her, like, look, it sounds like you were taking out your anger on her and it was not deserved. And she started crying and she said, I owe her an apology. She never apologized to Candace. She actually stood in it and made a song about it called Drag Queen, and and just a lot of different things that happened after the fact that just made me look at Monique differently. Again, I don't dislike her. I don't know her. I have no reason to dislike her. I just didn't like the actions that she chose to take. But a lot of people were on the side of Monique just simply because they don't like Candace. And because they don't like Candace, they wanted to back Monique in Monique beating this girl up. There wasn't even a fight because Candace couldn't even really defend herself. Monique had the girl by the head and was banging her head into the table. And some people tried to make it seem like, well, Candace threw a drink in Monique's face, or she hit Monique with a glass of wine. Candace had the glass of wine in her face. And so a lot of the argument for the people who are Team Monique is that Candace runs her mouth too much. She's all talk and she can't back it up. She's bark but no bite. She can't stand in what she does, so she just needs to shut her mouth. If she can't defend herself, then she shouldn't be saying all the things that she said. So she deserved it. Again, multiple things can be true at the same time. Not just two things can be true at the same time. Multiple things can be true at the same time. And yeah, it can be said that Candace is a yip yapper and she can run off at the mouth, and she is very quick-witted and can respond. Sometimes the responses are like, why did you say that? And then other times it can be laughable and you can laugh at it. But in that situation, I knew, and I watched it, I knew that Monique was wrong in that situation because I felt that Monique was taking out her aggression for everything that was built up, that she was going through, the things that she said that were being spread about her that were rumors that were not true. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But she said there were rumors being spread about her having an affair. Even some things that were being said about possibly her baby may not even be her husband's and whatever. So it's definitely possible that rumors were being spread about her, and she just said, you know what, I'm pissed off, enough is enough. But she got mad at Candace because Candace invited what's her face, one of the former Real Housewives of Potomac, to her anniversary party, and Monique said she felt like Candace should have told her because she and that other person, and forgive me, I can't remember her name at the moment, they were not on good terms. So she was already upset with Candace about that. So the culmination of things that were being built up, and then they get into this tiff. Candace really was beat up. And she really did not deserve that. But again, because a lot of people felt like they liked Monique more than they liked Candace, and they felt that Candace ran her mouth a lot, they felt like Candace deserved it because they did not like Candace. Period. And I'm sorry, what Monique did was wrong. And even she admitted it, but later on she stood in it and she refused to apologize, and now she's being rewarded for it by getting another reality show that she's going to be starring in. So now we get to Will Smith and Chris Rock. A lot of people are standing up for Will Smith because they like Will Smith more than they like Chris Rock. And then you have the list of pros and cons on one person versus the other. So with that being said, there are just some people who were simply not going to believe that what Will Smith did was wrong, because what he did they see as honorable, because they see it as him honoring his wife, defending his wife, standing up for her honor. This is a black man who's married to a black woman. This is a black woman who's dealing with hair loss issues. There are a lot of people who are relating to Jada's situation or story, or the desire to be in a relationship or a marriage such as what they see, I should say, she has. So they're going to be on the side of Will Smith versus Chris Rock. So they're going to say that what Chris Rock did was wrong and what Will Smith did was right, and they're going to defend it. And listen, I'm not here to change anybody's mind. People are going to believe what they want to believe. People are going to think what they want to think. Even the Bible says it, that in specific days and years of the world, people on the earth are going to call right wrong and call wrong right. So I never am here to debate anybody about what is wrong and what is right. I just believe what I believe, and that's it. And I am one of those people who can be pretty objective even when it pisses me off and it gets me angry, when someone I may not even really care for, or someone that I don't agree with on a whole lot of things, they say something that is something I can agree with. And Candace Owens, someone I don't really care for at all, she actually said something that I sort of agree with, and she was talking about how Jada Pinkett Smith has spiritually emasculated Will Smith, and I have to somewhat agree with that. I did a live video earlier today, impromptu, didn't plan on it. Don't know if anybody hopped on, whatever. It is what it is. But I talked about being a spouse, being a wife to a man. And yeah, you want the they say black women are not protected. And so, yeah, you want women, and especially black women, to be able to be protected. And myself, as an African American woman, I want my husband to cover me and protect me as well. But it goes both ways. And I don't feel that Jada was thinking about Will Smith in that moment, because it wasn't just about her. I felt that the mature thing to do in that situation, if she saw, because I still believe that Will Smith laughed at the joke, and then when he saw that Jada wasn't here for it and she was triggered by it, that's when he decided to move in his emotions and his feelings and go up on the stage and do something that really wasn't called for in that moment. So I think that if Jada said, she grabbed her husband, and even if she told her husband, look, I don't like what he said, I love you, I want you to cover me and protect me, but you may be thinking about going up on stage and laying hands on him, but don't do that. You're bigger than that. You're better than that. If you win this Oscar tonight, baby, you go up on the stage and you address him in that speech. Man, he probably would have had standing room only ovations of applause if he did it in that same way, because the speech that he gave after going up on stage and slapping Chris Rock across the face, for me, it just didn't seem genuine. It really seemed disingenuous to me. And even Venus and Serena Williams' father, he made a statement via his son about the situation, and he didn't stand for it either. He said that he did not condone violence unless it was for self-defense, and self-defense meaning you get physically assaulted, you're defending yourself. That was not a physical assault. And yes, sometimes words can feel like physical assault, but we as human beings, I don't want to talk about the race thing because some people are taking it to, well, black people should not let white people tell them how to act or feel. Why is it that a black person expressing that they don't think what Will Smith is right is someone seeing it as you are allowing white people to tell you how to feel? I don't agree with that. I just don't. So I'm just saying all of these things just to share my thoughts on it, and just to say that in the society that we live in and in the age that we live in now, a lot of people will call what someone's actions were that really would be deemed as wrong, right, if they prefer the person over the other person that they did what was wrong that they are calling right to. Now, I know that might sound crazy, but I'm pretty much saying, just to sum it all up, more people like Monique over Candace from the Real Housewives of Potomac. So it was okay to beat Candace Dillard down, bang her head into the table. Candace did not throw a drink in Monique's face or even throw the glass in her face. She had this wine goblet or champagne flute or whatever type of glass it was in her hand when Monique was bashing her head into the table and the glass was going up. And she was trying to get out of the grasp of Monique. And so Monique, they finally got her away, and she was trying to bust out of there and run away to get back at Candace to beat her down some more. And because people preferred Monique over Candace, people were like, yeah, Candace deserved it. All right, Tommy Sotomayor and the 304 Shea chick, that they both were on the Fresh and Fit podcast. A lot of people may not know the young lady, but she was a darker skin, I should say, African-American young woman. And a lot of people don't like Tommy Sotomayor because he talks about black women for the most part being in a negative light and things like that. So a lot of people, especially black women, don't like Tommy Sotomayor. So they would say he deserved it. Beat his ass. And I'll be honest, when I saw it, I was like, I understand. And that's the thing. You can see something that's wrong and say, look, it may be wrong, but I understand. And actually Chris Rock, I should say, did that as a joke on one of his stand-up specials years ago, where he actually said, it's like, it may not be right, but I understand. And that is a true statement. You may understand it, but it doesn't make it right. I believe with a lot of people now, they're not just saying it's not right, but I understand. No, they're trying to justify it and say, no, he was right. He should have did what he did. So because a lot of people don't like Tommy Sotomayor, they would say that what the young lady did was right. I'm not saying that she was wrong in the situation in this case, because again, she is claiming that he actually did push someone into her. So he was trying to swing at him. She was trying to swing at Tommy Sotomayor versus the person that he pushed into her. I don't know if that's true or not. He did press charges and she was arrested. So there is an investigation going on with that. So I guess we'll see what comes of that. But again, I say a lot of people who don't like Tommy Sotomayor, They loved what she did. So they're going to stand up for her in that situation. And then finally, where it involves Will Smith and Chris Rock, of course, you saw more people going to Will Smith's aid and following up to, see if he's okay and Jada's okay, because in that situation, because they preferred Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith over Chris Rock, even if they didn't dislike Chris Rock, they would come up with justifications and reasons as for why what Will Smith did was right. And now people are turning it into a movement for protect black women, or in addition to, I should say, protect black women, because we heard a lot of that before when it came to the Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez foot shooting. Did he really shoot her in the foot? Did he not shoot her in the foot? And she came out and said, protect black women, and black women are the least protected. And those things may be true. Again, several things can be true at the same time, but does it make that true in your situation? And where it involves Jada Pinkett Smith and Chris Rock, more people were on the side of Will Smith because they preferred that couple over Chris Rock, period. And Chris Rock was the one that was physically assaulted. And because of the privilege, it's not even about black or white. So when people try to bring race into it right now, it's not even about black or white right now, because it's about wealth supremacy, not white supremacy in this situation. Will and Jada, they're extremely wealthy together. Will is not going to have charges pressed against him, even if they were in a state where I believe the attorney general for the state of Texas came out and said, even if Chris Rock declined to press charges, if it happened in Texas, we would have pressed charges. Okay. But I'm saying because of the wealth supremacy versus if it were just your randoms, everyday people, where a situation happened where someone just walked up to someone and just slapped them in the face and walked away, yeah, it probably would be a fight or a melee, but that person probably would try to attempt to press charges. And if it was somebody that had some money, then they'd be suing them civilly as well to try to get some money out of the situation as well. But again, it's about the preference. People preferring one person over the other. So when the preference does something that overall would be deemed as wrong, people would try to justify it to make it right, simply because they preferred that one person over the other person. And that's what I really wanted to talk about. So I just wanted to bring it back to what recently happened. People, again, are going to believe what they want to believe. I'm not here to sway anyone's opinions or minds one way or another where this is involved, because I believe what I believe and others are going to believe what they believe. But I just wanted to talk about this because when it comes to people that really like one person over the other, and then something that's seen as sort of the unthinkable happens, how a lot of people would just justify it and make it seem like it was okay simply because they like that other person more than the other that the wrong happened to. And I just don't think it's right. But that's what we do in this world. That's what we do in this society. We call right wrong and we call wrong right. So you just really have to just get in a place where you are spiritually grounded so that you're not flying off in your emotions, because people are going to do stuff in this life that are going to trigger you, that are going to piss you off, to offend you, and all of those different things. And a lot of times people do things that are absolutely wrong. I have been called names. I have been stolen from. I've had hundreds of thousands of dollars that have been taken from me. I've gone through a lot. As a business owner, I've gone through so many things. I can't respond to everything in a physical way, because trust me, I would be behind somebody's bars right now if I were able to move in my feelings and my emotions and respond to everything that everyone does to me. I have to be the bigger person. And yeah, it does. It gets tiring being the bigger person all the time, but it is a responsibility that you have as a mature adult. And the older you get, we're supposed to become better at that. And if you need to get counseling and therapy on a regular basis, then do that, because we live in a world with a whole lot of crappy, ridiculous, shitty people that will do the most horrendous things to you. So you have to really protect yourself, more so spiritually and mentally than physically sometimes. So I felt that at that opportunity, in that situation, I felt like that probably was more of an opportunity for Jada to pull her husband back. Yeah, she may have shared with him how that triggered her. That was disrespectful. It was dishonorable. I don't like it. And maybe she didn't know that he was going to go up on the stage and do what he did. But when she saw him walking away, where the heck do you think that he was going? Get up and pull him back. Get up and pull him back. Being someone who is a spouse of someone that has PTSD, sometimes things can trigger and happen to go off. I've had to pull situations back where I'm like, baby, that person ain't worth it. Leave it alone. Let's go. leave it alone. Someone calls you the N-word, you know, flipping you off or whatever, cutting you off on the road and saying you don't know how to drive or whatever, which is all lies, but it's just to trigger you and to get you upset and to get you angry. You following them and trying to pull them down and pull them out of the car and beat them down. No. So I'm going to do my best to cool you down so that doesn't happen, because these people aren't worth it. And I've been there before. I have. So I'm not speaking about something that I think or just sharing my opinion. I'm talking about what I know. As a couple, when you're married, yeah, your husband, as a wife, your husband is supposed to protect you, but it also goes both ways. We have to be able to cover and protect each other. It's a covenant. And I know marriage is not a popular thing these days, but it's still a real thing. And so when it's handled appropriately and properly, which I'll be honest, I don't think a lot of things in their marriage is handled appropriately and properly, which is why a lot of the lashing out is recently coming out and happening, and the sharing of these intimate, personal, honestly, sometimes TMI that's coming out about them, because it is not as well as they have tried to portray. It's broken. It can be fixed if they wanted to, but they have to do the work. And the work doesn't start by going up on the stage and smacking somebody across the face. If we all had the opportunity to do that, a lot of people would have swollen jaws, red cheeks, busted teeth, broken jaws, all of that stuff, and traction in a hospital somewhere. Like, we can't all respond in our emotions and our feelings, and it goes back to that wealth supremacy and the privilege. We don't all get to act in the way that people like him is able to act. And even Steve Harvey said it. He said he did a very Hollywood thing by going on the stage and responding in that way, because he wouldn't have done it in another situation. So I'm just going to end it there. You guys can let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And until the next time, I hope you all go ahead and subscribe and leave your comments. And as always, I'm just being beautifully honest. Thank you so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And until the next time, I'm just being beautifully honest.